Welcome to the Daily Boogie.
Says it all.
In a new Wall Street Journal op-ed, a former Hillary Clinton staff member writes, "A warning to my fellow liberals. From one liberal to another, can we stop the ideological purity test and admit that there are more ways than one of solving a problem?
No, we can't. We need to enforce the ideological purity test. Where's our article? Give me that article back. Kanye West, the alt-right darling. Let me throw it back up for you. The very last paragraph here. Liberals have shown off their willingness to enforce ideological purity no matter who the offender is. Bravo for those brave liberals enforcing ideological purity. Here is someone who wrote an op-ed for the Wall Street Journal, a bleeding heart liberal in her own words, saying, can we please stop the enforcing of ideological purity tests? Isn't it wonderful how the universe just overlaps and intertwines sometimes? Isn't it just delicious? Here you have the Washington Post saying, we need to enforce ideological purity tests because fuck Kanye. Fuck him. I thought he was good, but then he said something I didn't like and he's not good anymore. Fuck him off. We don't need his stank hanging around our ideologically pure movement. He's just become an alt-right Nazi, an alt-right hero. Yay! One less comrade, culling the herd. I don't know if that's a winning strategy. Anyway, I'll let this lovely young lady speak for herself.
In a new Wall Street Journal op-ed, a former Hillary Clinton staff member writes, "A warning to my fellow liberals. From one liberal to another, can we stop the ideological purity test and admit that there are more ways than one of solving a problem? Can we please stop being such jerks?"
No.
That former Clinton staff member, Anafi Hwa Head, also is the founder of Flipside.io.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, look at this. The lovely young lady, former Clinton staff member, Anafi Hwa Head. According to the Washington Post, we have just unearthed yet another alt-right bigot, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, woo! Woo! I am so pumped for this witch hunt. I have never been more pumped for a witch hunt in my life, man. I can't wait to get all of these liberals who are just wanting to have calm, rational discussions and consider other ideas that aren't necessarily within the prism of left-wing social media. I just want to round them all up and chase them into the cornfield. Let the second ideological purity test commissions begin. And yes, Lady Fritzer, another non-white, just another race traitor. Round them all up, chase them into the cornfield. Let's get her fitted for a brown shirt and white hood immediately. She's become an alt-right darling. Which witch is a witch? We'll call it the Twitter progressive trials. Let's line them all up. All of these bigots, all of these shameful bigots who have spent the majority of their adult lives working hard for progressive causes from the bottom of their hearts, who then come to the realization that perhaps there is maybe something, some insight, some possibility, some conversation that can be had with people on the other side of the aisle. No! Chain them up to a rusty old car and dunk them in the ocean. We don't need that kind of shit round here. We've got ideological purity, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, and joins us now live. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
You're calling your friends jerks. What are they doing?
I really am. I think they're I won't say all, but most of my liberal friends are very well-intentioned, but their comments are so arrogant, so elitist, and it's a symptom of a much larger problem. The media bubbles and the echo chambers are so persistent that they don't know how to engage constructively with ideas that are not their own.
Yeah, right.
I want Tom Shadley to interview this young lady on his Periscope show. And her website, by the way, is fantastic if you check it out. They're like a news aggregator, and they take like left wing and right wing and just write commentary on both of them. They put one example on one side and another example on the other side. So she's living what she's saying as well. That's the other thing. Clearly, she's an alt-right hero. Clearly, this former Clinton staff member. Clearly, she needs to be, subjected to some kind of inquisition and drowned in the holy water of the alt-right, of our ideological progressive purity test.
Right, that 63 million Americans voted for Donald Trump. They can't all be nincompoops.
Exactly, and it's incredibly arrogant of liberals to think that all 63 million were duped or are sexist or racist or xenophobic or enter some other negative connotation, right?
I know. What kind of blowback have you gotten from your friends after you wrote this?
It's really interesting. There have been plenty of comments, and one friend actually texted me yesterday to say, hey, I do have some critiques, but I understand if you're overwhelmed by the negativity.
Right.
And I really appreciated that. The flip side, the premise of the flip side is surprisingly simple. We provide readers with...
General Eaton says, nobody told her what happens to people when they're willing to listen to the other side. Poor girl. I know. She's another victim. No, she's not a victim, though, because she's embracing the alt-right. She's, just another bigot, just another brown shirt, just another Hitlerian youth member goose-stepping down the local streets. The army, she failed the ideological purity test. She needs to be eliminated.
The daily 5-minute digest of what both sides are saying. I can't believe it's at all controversial, let alone invoking such strong reactions.
Look at that. You're interested in both sides, like Kanye West. And look at what he's taken.
Yes. We actually wrote about Kanye West this morning, and it was fascinating. He didn't even express his political views. He just expressed that he likes the president. And if he's being, bashed by so many people for just saying he likes a person, what does that tell us about where we are as a society?
Well, what does that tell you about the not so tolerant left?
I think, obviously it tells me that we're on the right track. We're heading to utopia. If Kanye West is stupid enough to come out and say that he likes the president and that he likes the way that Candace Owens thinks, and he gets pilloried for it and, drawn and quartered metaphysically, and he is shunned by the true progressive, the true beating heart of a nation, which is the progressive, tolerant, ideologically pure subsection of the society. If he is demonized by these people, that makes me rest easy. That I can put my head on the pillow at night knowing that somebody out there is thinking for me, and I can dedicate my time to more fruitful endeavors, such as rearranging my sock drawer, trimming my toenails, possibly even painting my toenails. I might even have time for that as well. So, thank you, progressive left and your ideological purity tests. Thank you for doing my thinking for me. Thank you for not allowing any potentially upsetting information to float into my atmosphere. I'm very, very satisfied and happy, and, myself and the other sheep, all of yous, get it? We're just going to be chewing away here in our little pen, here in our little intellectual pen, and may no dastardly, evil, brown shirt African-American shepherd lead us astray. Ever. Ever.
Your side.
I will say our side does not do a good job of reaching out to others, of admitting that there may be more than one way of looking at a problem. And that's what my op-ed is about. I'm really worried about 2018. We thought Hillary Clinton would win in 2016, right. And right now we're expecting a blue wave. But
you're not so sure.
I'm not so sure. I'm really not.
You know what's interesting about your
throw her off a cliff with the other witches. Are you doubting the supremacy of the progressive left, young lady? Throw her in the hole. Maybe some solitary confinement will teach her a lesson.
Wall Street Journal editorial is the fact that you submitted it to the New York Times and the Washington Post before, and they rejected it?
Yes,
they
they
didn't pick it up.
did. They did not pick it up.
Look at that, and I love that. I love that little move there. He says, so you submitted this piece arguing for progressives and liberals to, engage in conversations, rational conversations with people on the other side and, promote a healthy discourse that isn't about ideological purity tests. You submitted this to the Washington Post and the New York Times and they rejected it. And she just looks straight at the camera with that smile and goes, oh, yes, they did. She's clearly been brainwashed by the alt-right. She's clearly in an affair with a frog right now. Clearly.
Post before, and they rejected it?
Yes,
they
did.
Pick it up.
There you go. There it is.
And I was sorely disappointed because I was really hoping that it would be read by liberals. So for me, it was, the New York Times, the Washington Post. Those are my liberal friends' favorites. So I would have loved to have it in there. But of course, the Wall Street Journal, is an amazing publication. I was happy that, I'm so lucky that they accepted it.
Interesting words. We thank you very much, Anafi Hwa Head.
I'm sorry, Anafi, but you're from the bottom of your heart, your outcry for more reasonable, rational discourse failed the ideological purity test. Ladies and gentlemen, by the way, that is our special drinking word for tonight. Ideological purity test. Are you with me? Let's everybody get together and promote ideological purity tests for our friends and family. And if they even suggest, even in a tweet, that they may find something of value in somebody's opinion that they may disagree with, 98%. If they find one thing that they like in somebody else who's on the other side of the political spectrum, they need to be done away with. They need to be loaded up into some kind of garbage space shuttle and shot into the outer atmosphere and dispensed with like human waste on the space station. Just like, gone. Like they did with Spock. Remember when Spock died? You send him up there, bang, out he goes. Get rid of him. We don't need his kind round here. So yeah, ideological purity tests.